In a time of revolution and chaos, when suspicion and secrecy were the order of the day, a 17-year-old girl from an unknown village in France answered God's call to service, dedicating her life to His will. But even she didn't know where His will would lead her, only that she would follow.
These are the children that God is giving you. I am Saint Teresa. I will be the protectress of your order.
In her darkest moments, the holy will of God would be her comfort, and through her life, God would reach out to generations half a world away. As relevant today as she was centuries ago, the life of Blessed Anne-Marie Javoué continues to inspire.
Wherever we can do some good, that is all we want to do. Whatever good we can to help to make our country a better place.
Described by Anne-Marie as a beautiful mission, doing good for their country meant service in education for the Sisters of St. Joseph of Cluny. The seed that was planted in Trinidad in 1836 has grown into a great tree, with branches spanning the Lesser Antilles, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and Dominica. What began as a mission to establish schools and educate young women has blossomed to embrace the needs of the elderly and other marginalized members of our society.
Our congregation has a motto, to do the will of God, the holy will of God. We are basically at the service of God, loving God by loving other people, because you cannot love God in a vacuum.
In the Bible, and Jesus says, "I come that you may have life and have it to the full." And my thing is to do what I can to make this come true, to make this child have a fulfilled life, a life that ultimately leads them back to God. I believe a full life, you can't really have a full life if God is not part of it.
True love and care, however, always comes with good judgment, restraint, and order.
Although we get good academic results, it's not just about the brain of the child. One of the marks is the discipline, the deportment, the way of the sense of responsibility, citizenship, because we try to foster all those things.
A holistic approach to education that yields exceptional results, something all parents can appreciate.
If I could use one word to describe it, I would say it's a blessing to have had my children attend those schools.
Dedicated to offering hope, NULO gives trainees a variety of options to acquire skills that would provide avenues toward a better life. Even for the organization itself, as trainees have contributed to the expansion of the premises.
This project has really evolved as God's work. I say, God, with a little help, God sent down people here to do it.
Even though they are few, their lives are powerful beacons toward the cross. So we pause to ask the question, who are these women, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Cluny?
To me, they're very simple women who gave their life to God in complete service, total service to humanity, selfless service.
They are normal people who made a vow to God and decided to take this pathway on life. They are very nice people, very easy to interact with, they're very easy to talk to, they're generally very nice women.
Amidst the changes of the last 25 years, the sisters have kept steadfast in their focus on service.
We're doing it because we want our women, because we work mainly with girls in schools, we want them to be stronger women so that they can make their contribution to our country. Having studied the life of our mother foundress, I just found that's a very normal woman. So it's not impossible to follow the life that she is putting forward.
Very, very ahead of her time. Into new methods of education, new methods of dealing with the mentally ill, approaches to the development of the human being.
She just didn't act without reflection and contemplation. Even if she had two choices, which is the one most needed now.
You have to be current. You have to be in tune with, open to what's going on in a changing world. Otherwise, you become irrelevant.
I'm sure she would have been a good wife, a good farm manager, etc. But look at the impact of this single life on the world, simply because she said yes to whatever God asked her.
The life of a sister is worth living. It is one that calls for sacrifice, but if we are generous, and God has been so very good to us, that somebody has to say, okay, Lord, I am going to give back what I have received.
Those dedicated women who chose the sisterhood known as the Sisters of St. Joseph of Cluny have given all of themselves to God's service. We know of many schools they've established and their focus not only on the spiritual but on the whole person.
And how you prepare a child is not only academically. You have to train the child, you have to know the background, you have to know the developmental stages that the child is going through, and all that helps in the total development of the child.
In recognition of diverse human needs, they provide academic alternatives like Serval, the pioneering work that spawned calls in Dominica and Nulo in Grenada, and have provided quiet solitude at the Emmaus Retreat Center. And soon, the Tobago Retreat Center, converted from the recently closed school. We continue to see the results of their approach to education and marvel at its success, even in the schools they've had to withdraw from due to the dwindling numbers in the congregation. Perhaps what we don't see as clearly is the way they take care of their own, from novitiate to retirement, the Alpha and Omega as they fondly refer to it. Their focus on excellence and care for the whole being also extends to each other.
You see the care of the sisters. That is primary. You cannot see the works unless you show the sisters are well.
Following in the footsteps of their foundress, the sisters persevere against the challenges of life, with their faith as their comfort, their community as their strength, and a deep compassion for humanity as their motivation.
Adversity should not mean I'm misgiven, and it should strengthen you. And she has shown that. She saw that as a means of deepening her spirituality and strengthening her, so that in all adversity, you're not overcome by it.
It is very rewarding and enriching. If you see a sad nun, something is the matter. A nun is meant to be free and happy, joyous in her service of God and of neighbor.
What perhaps will develop for us is education in different ways, because there is a new world coming into being. and the way that education was conducted in the past will not speak to this new world.
Once you connect your life to God, whether it's in the religious life or however you respond to your vocation, then it's no longer just for this time-bound period. You cross into eternity.
Mes chères filles, my dearest daughters, God will give you the grace according to your needs. Never doubt your strength when you count on Him. God alone can take the place of everything for you. My confidence in God is all my strength, and my force est tout mon espoir.
A message of encouragement left for all those who wish to follow in her footsteps and give their lives to the service of the holy will of God.